I've already started.
Is that great?
It's like the book has passed me now, and I just keep writing more poems. And I look at these poems, I'm thinking, oh my God, these are old. What do I want with these anymore?
But isn't that a great hurdle? It's almost like, all right, I read at the open mic. I didn't die. I can read again.
I can read again, and maybe even the same poem.
I think what's great about reading in public also, and open mics especially, is that you can take a piece you're working on and you see it on the page, and that's one thing. But when you read it out loud, you can really hear where it needs work. And all those little question marks back in your mind, was this what I wanted to say? Was this the right word? Come more alive to me when I'm reading it in public.
Especially if you can gauge the impact it's having on the audience.
Mm-hmm.
If you can see them looking at you, paying attention. Or if you can see them not paying attention.
Yeah, going, well, which happens. So, why don't you read a couple more pieces? I enjoy listening to your work. And maybe you could elaborate a little on what you think the woman's role in writing today is.
It's to realize she's got every right, and more than a right, but like a responsibility to herself and her friends and family to just speak her truth.
Do you think that as you write, and even in your journals, that this was empowering you to have that safe spot where you could be strong in yourself, that little place that was yours?
Well, there was a before and an after. Before, when I hid my poems from everybody because I thought they were evidence that I was crazy or something, or maladjusted, it was not a good thing. It was a poisonous little fear type of environment. Accepting the fact that I can read in public, and people sometimes even like to hear what I read, and people recognize themselves, and I can communicate with others through poetry, that is the freeing thing. That's like the safety spot. I now feel like this is a sanctuary, being out here in the open, which is a complete paradox to when I was writing furtively, not letting my boyfriend see it, because he'd say, well, what do you mean by that? And I just didn't want to be questioned. Now I kind of enjoy being questioned, as long as I know what the answer is, which I don't always do.
Now, see, this going back to the caller's question about all the shyness we have in bringing something out. But it seems to me, over the years of doing the radio show, the Mad River Anthology, and being an editor, that I see a flowering and empowerment, almost a blossoming of the individual when they break through that barrier and say, I am.
But what are you? You are, but in relation to the other human beings who recognize these universal truths about themselves. When you're writing about something that you think is sacred and personal and you're the only person in this world, you're not.
No.
And you realize that.
And you share it, and all of a sudden that thread, that common thread, is drawn through.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes a really nice little safety net to fall into.
It does.
Because you can be unique, and yet you can be connected. And, for women or for men, for human beings. I had one, Steve, that I wanted to read. And you know what? It's right here.
Okay. Well, I like your work, so.
Well, I'm glad you do. This one's called Trespassing. This is sort of old, a couple years old. Trespassing. These new houses trespass on land nobody possessed until today. Suddenly, fences dam rivers of wind. Freshly painted rooms hold sunlight for ransom. Artificial squares of lawn now lie where rattlesnake grass once grew, like succulent baby snakes, shaking their brand new rattles before summer turned to gold. There's one lot left. From it I can see 2 cities, a bay of many rivers, mountains whose forms change in mist. The night heron leaves echoes of his cries imprinted on the mute stars. Roots of the cypress tree have known countless tides. Its branches float like dark smoke, graceful in cathedral arch, sanctuary of wild things. No trespassing signs betray the crime. Bulldozers breaking stones, ripping earth, prying roots from flesh. Birds veer away from pressed board. The salty taste of ocean rain is drowned in the robotic din of automatic sprinklers. In my neighborhood, they're building new houses in a place where I like to go walking, so I was sort of sulking about that when I wrote this.
I went the other way. I put in a pop-up sprinkler system in Manila in my yard. When I put it in,
does it have a robotic din?
People were driving by to look at the thing. It was
Right.
like nobody had ever seen a pop-up sprinkler system.
Well, what is a pop-up sprinkler system?
It's just these little sprinklers, and then you turn on these knobs, and up they pop and sprinkle the lawn. And
Kind of like submarine periscopes?
yeah, and Manila wasn't quite ready for these yet.
The invasion.
I was trying to bring some newness.
All right, well, it gets so sandy there anyway. Gosh.
It does, but I love it out there.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful place to write and work in the ocean.
I can see the little beach pines curving over the dune with its rattlesnake grass and its little poppies, and the wind's always blowing. And there's a silence there that doesn't exist in quieter places.
It is, and the idea that you drive across the bottoms, and I love that drive. Mm-hmm. It's just you're leaving the town, you have all that space between hustle and bustle.
It's really fun at night on a bicycle.
I'll bet.
Because you get that idea of space, and you're just out there ready to be devoured by that darkness. The trucks don't run so much at night.
The trucks, you know, they're just trucks.
I know, you can flip them off.
Yeah.
Especially on a bicycle.
Again, the number is 822-7924. I'm Steve Miller, and this is Amelia Raymond. And we're having fun listening to your work. When you finally, what made you take the jump? And I'm still looking at when I first met you, how shy you were and how much you said that you wrote. And I would ask you, could I see some of your work? And you would go, maybe. 2-3 years from now, maybe. And off you'd go.
No, my partner is a poet, and he's just helped me so much by encouraging me to share it and work on my work, my poems. And he has no problem with being reticent, and so a lot of it's Leonard's example.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to have that support behind you.
Yeah, he's very supportive.
That's very good. Mm-hmm. Do you have another piece?
Well, I've got one that's kind of new. It's so new, I don't know how people are going to take it. So
they're going to throw guns at us. You'll have to be a recluse for another 10 years.
No, there's actually no profanity in this.
Oh, you're going to do it about ACAP.
Wait, I didn't bring that one.
Barney Fife.
Though I've got one about profanity, but I don't have it with me, so I'll read this one instead. Bear Bob?
Yeah, Bear Bob's Bottom.
Bob Bear?
Yeah.
Heard of Max Bear?
Yeah, Max Bear.
Maximum Bear?
I think you should go ahead and read your non-profane
Well, now I've got to
poem.
find I've got to find a profane one now. No, this one will offend all the born-agains.